What's up, YouTube? Today we're gonna work on some like transitional progressions. Usually in music, if you look at the circle of fifths, everything moves like up a fourth or down a fifth. I honestly can't tell you why it works like that, but it does work. So like today we'll be in the key of A. So if I wanted to get to D, so key of A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and back to A. If I wanted to do 1 to 4, A to D, you know, it just flows perfectly. If I wanted to go to my 5, I would start with my 2. So just all tonal stuff. So 2 minor to 5 major. And then my 5 takes me to my 1, back to A. So that's where you get, I'm sure some of y'all know the term 2-5-1, but really the 2-5-1 actually, it correlates to all these different movements. Like even if I went to my 6, I would do 7-3-6 is really kind of a 2-5-1. But I'm not gonna break that down because that's a whole nother lesson. So, but yeah, so if you're doing 2 to 5 or 1 to 4, 3 to 6, 6 to 2, all those just flow perfectly. And that's really, once you master the circle of fifths, your musical choices and library just really widens. So today we're working on the progression 2 to 5. So in A, if I'm doing a 2-5-1, but we're just gonna look at different ways to get to that 1 with the 2-5. So the basic way is 2 minor to 5 major, and then to your 1. And that's cool, you know, it works. There's nothing wrong with that, but you know, a lot of us want to spice our sound up. So one way, if we just keep it completely tonal, which means I'm not adding any extra notes or foreign notes from other keys. If I use my B minor, one thing I could do is just add a 7 to it. So that could be the first extension. So instead of playing my B with my thumb in the right hand, I'll go to A. So the chord would be B, F sharp in the left hand, and then A, D, F sharp in the right hand, which is a D major chord over B. You can look at it like that, but it's really a B minor 7. So 2 minor 7, and that could take you to your 5. Now, how could we spice the 5 up? We could just add a 9 in there, which would be an F sharp. That's one way. You can just, make it a little, add a few more notes in there. So I've doubled the fifth of the 5. That's one way. What else could we do? We could play a 2 minor over 5. So if we did, and that really makes it a dominant 9 if you look at it. So you got your 1, 3, 5, the minor 7, and then your 9. That's something I always, I do that from time to time. And then that takes you to 1. So if we did the extended version, and that works, and that's good, depending on what style of music you playing, the 2-5 will definitely change. Like in a more jazzy setting, your 2 could be definitely dominant. It could be minor too, but you'll usually hear something like that. So that's a dominant 9, 2 dominant 9, and that will take you to some type of 5. It could be a dominant 7 with a flat 9. What else could we do in jazz? You can go here. It just depends on, like I said, the structure of a song. So if we got dominant 9 to a dominant 7 with a flat 9, dominant 9 to, that's an augmented 7 with a sharp 9. So you got E, G sharp, D, G, and C. Well, this would technically be F double sharp. This would be F double sharp, but then 6 could turn around if you wanted to turn it around. Stuff like that. So that's more in a jazzy setting. So another way to do it now in a more churchy setting, if you're doing 2-5 and you remember we trying to get to A, so instead of doing the basic, we trying to think of ways that could just spice the sound up a little bit. And you don't want to just completely go off the rails. You still want to keep it, where people can enjoy the music and it's just not so foreign. Because a lot of times you have some musicians that play stuff only musicians can enjoy. And it's cool for me being a musician. I love to hear it, but a lot of times we restrict it in what we can do because people have to understand what we play. So if I was playing in a more churchy setting, like if I was doing a hymn, I'm not gonna play a hymn, but if I'm ending a hymn 2-5-1, one way we could do it, you can go 5/7 to 1. That gives you, so that's another layer. You can always throw drop 2 in there to replace any triad chord. If you voice it in first inversion, then that's considered a drop 2. So if I did B minor to E over G sharp and then to A. So that's, and you could use that. That can be outside of church as well. It just depends, like I said, on the song you're doing. Another way I would play it, like if I was doing a hymn and ending it, so 2, you could do 2. And that takes you to your 1. So that one is a minor 2, 2 minor, to a major or dominant 7. So the way this is how I look at it in my mind, but the chord is a dominant 7, but I'm playing a major 2 over 1. And then that take you to your 5/7 and back to the 1. So that's actually a 4 chord progression. So you got 2, 1, 7, 1. So let me do that again. So 2, 1, 7, 1. So that's another way to do it. You could also just do 2 like that, or you can do the major. You could just do major. So that's a major 2, 5/7 into your 1. And if you wanted to voice it a little, do more in your left hand, you could come up here, 2 minor. So you playing your 1 and your minor third of the 2 minor chord. Then you play a tritone, your 1 and your sharp 4 with the major up here. So 2 major right here to your 5/7 and then to your 1. So in the left hand you playing that A tritone, G sharp and E, and then back to your 1, which is the 1 and the 3 of your 1. So those are a few ways you can voice your 2 to 5.